This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI Studios in Toronto, Canada.
Hey Toronto, this is Ed Sheeran.
This is Kelly Clarkson.
Hi, this is Bryan Adams.
This is Adele.
This is Madonna.
It's Michael Bublé, and you're listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep Show. It's fun. They're amazing.
Pooja, you just celebrated a birthday last week. It's your birth month. Take a victory lap. Do you ever think about how popular your birthday, your birth month is? Like, is February a popular month?
I can't say I have. I think it's like my only experience with my birthday being in February is that nobody wants to come to your birthday party.
It's a tough sell, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's minus 40 and there's 80 inches of snow out. Want to come over?
Yeah.
No?
It all often got canceled. So, that's the only thing I really feel about my birth month. I've never thought about how popular it is.
Yeah. Well, do you even want a popular birth month? Don't you want your birth month to be unique to you, so less popular? That's how I'm spinning it because, Pooj, you and I both have very unpopular birth months.
We do?
February is the least popular month to be born.
Okay.
And part of it might just be there's less days. So if you're looking at total amount of people born that month, there's less. So that's part of it. April is the second least popular birth month. That's me.
Okay.
And then December is the third least.
Interesting. So is there any rhyme or reason to why those are least popular versus the others?
I'm certainly connecting some dots. The four most popular birth months, by the way, are August, July, October, Steph's birth month.
Yay, I'm finally popular.
And September. Hey! And the most the most singular popular birthday of the entire year, September 9th.
Oh, so, I think I know a person who's born on September 9th.
We probably all know.
We probably do.
And maybe this is you listening at home. I'm going to rattle off some of these are the most popular days to be born. September 9th, 19th, 12th, 17th, 10th, September 20th, 15th, 16th, and 18th. So a lot of September dates.
Whoa,
and then July,
that's a lot in September.
Yeah, and then July 7th also. Here's the thing. My brain, I'm a math person, right? Mm-hmm. I can't help but start doing some, and I don't want to take it there because it's going to make you think about your own parents. Don't change the station right now. But have you ever played the game where you think about your own birthday and then you count back 9 months? You're like, what were my parents doing?
I will tell you right now, that is not a game anybody likes to play. But if you want to do this with your friends, you do you.
It's only fun when you're playing with other people and their parents because September having all these popular birthdays, all these September days that are the most, count back.
I can't. You do the math.
A lot of people's parents were really celebrating New Year's Eve.
Oh.
Really ringing in the new year.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'll take it a step further. My best friend, Mace, he's expecting his third kid due really coming up any day now in early March. All his kids born in February and March, all within a few weeks of each other. Oh. I count back 9 months to his summer birthday. And I'm like, do you guys only celebrate on your birthday?
Oh, no.
He's like, it's happened 3 times. I'm batting 1,000.
Oh, my gosh.
From CHFI Studios,
It's the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
I was hanging out with the fellas recently, and this is my group of friends. We get into deep conversations quite a while, and we're standing out on a balcony and kind of looking out at a beautiful setting. And
the opposite of what you do on the show with me.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, all shallow area here. I'm trying to bring some of the depth to this show right here with this conversation.
Thank you. Yes.
So we were just talking, all my friends are in their 40s, like me, and they're mostly married, kids, and they're all going through different things, and we share all these things with each other. And someone brought up the idea of the midlife crisis and joked about it's time to get a tattoo and a Harley. And I just thought about it. I'm like, my friends, they're thriving. I'm really proud of them. They're all doing well. I feel like I'm pretty happy with where I'm at in my life. So I'm like, who came up with this idea of a midlife crisis? And then I got thinking, why don't we rebrand the midlife crisis? Like, why is something youthful in your 40s or 50s considered a quote unquote crisis? Like, why can't doing something youthful when you're older be thought of as getting in touch with your inner child, having a recess attitude, being young at heart?
I love all those things.
Why do we have to label it a crisis just because you're doing something youthful and you're a certain age?
And they've done all sorts of studies on play and how important it is to keep on playing. And, after a certain age, you stop. And then maybe with kids and grandkids, you start again. What is wrong with that? What's wrong with going back to things that excite you? Some could argue, I heard a comedian say this once, it's not a midlife crisis, it's a midlife Christmas. They're like, my mortgage is pretty much paid off. I got a sports car. I've got all this disposable income. I can just focus on me.
Yeah, you have the wisdom and knowledge of all those years lived and all those mistakes you've made that you're not going to make again.
Yes, that's why I've been seeing this around as well, midlife clarity.
Midlife clarity, that's a good one.
I just turned 46. I think I'm definitely in the midlife category now. I think I have more clarity now than I've ever had, right? Like you figure out who you are, you figure out like who's important to you, the people you want in your life. There's so much clarity that comes with middle age. So yeah, crisis, I don't feel like I'm in crisis.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm 41. I guess I'm midlife. I don't know how long we're all going to be living. Maybe we'll all live till 100. We're not even at midlife yet.
True.
Who knows? Knocking on wood. I just think it's time to rebrand the midlife crisis, and we want to hear from you. Midlife clarity is a great one. Midlife Christmas is a good one. Text coming in here from Lisa in Mississauga saying, how about the midlife glow up?
Ooh.
It's not a crisis, it's a transformation.
I like
This is what I'm
that.
talking about, Lisa. You get the assignment. We want you to rebrand the midlife crisis for us. How should we be viewing midlife? How do you view midlife?
I love this. The only thing I will say is that think before you get the tattoo saying, this is my midlife glow up. Maybe think twice before that.
The Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI.
Rebranding midlife. Out with the midlife crisis, in with the midlife rebrand somehow. Like, what should it be instead?
You had a good one earlier. What did you say? Midlife
Christmas.
Midlife Christmas. Because listen, you probably have more money in the bank now than you did, I don't know, in your 20s when we were all in debt.
Yeah, you can afford that sports car now. Why not? Why is this somehow a crisis? I don't see it as a crisis. I know that I've been seeing a lot of memes for midlife clarity. That's a new one because
That's good.
you're clearer about so many things.
For sure.
What you want, who you are, who you want to be surrounded with, what you'll put up with, what you won't put up with.
Yeah.
You know.
Hopefully you're in a better place mentally than you were 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, it all makes sense. So we want to know from you, how would you rebrand midlife? Getting a lot of texts to 981-981 and getting calls too.
Yeah, Gary in Uxbridge, how would you rebrand it?
A midlife celebration.
Midlife celebration.
Because the whole thing is we have reached a point where we stop having to worry about the responsibilities we have because the kids forgive Pooja, but the rest of us, we hit in our mid-40s, early 50s, kids are not as much of a responsibility. We've got a good job. We're making good money. We can now look at ourselves and say, hey, we deserve this.
It's like you get your life back a little bit, right?
Yes.
That's nice.
Because when you're in your late teens, early 20s, you're out partying. You get the car you want, you get the travel you want, and then suddenly life hits you and it stops.
Yeah, and then you get to take it back.
Yes, and you get to take it back. So it's a celebration.
The midlife celebration. We're off to a great start. Gary, thanks for the call, buddy.
Have a good one.
The midlife crisis, okay? None of us feel like we're in crisis in midlife.
You just turned 46. You're not freaking out at all, right?
No, not
Why are there beads of sweat coming down your forehead?
I'm closer to death. I mean, these are the things that go through your mind that I think maybe make you feel like you should be in crisis, but I don't actually feel that way.
With modern science, we'll all live till 100.
Yeah, we're living longer.
Knocks on wood.
I'm sure. Yes, all that kale I have on a daily basis, it's got to be helping me somehow. But how would you rebrand it, I guess is the question. Getting so many texts on the text line at 981-981. This one is great. Midlife, me time. Yes.
Okay, because maybe your kids are grown. Maybe they're out of the house. You get your time back. I love that. This person texts again. Amanda in Etobicoke saying, I call it the YOLO years.
Ooh.
YOLO is the acronym for you only live once.
Right.
You finally have the time, money, and confidence. Go for it, says Amanda.
Okay, well, the problem, Amanda, is if you say YOLO, then you're aging yourself.
That's true. I think Drake made it popular, but now it's like uncool to say it.
Nobody says it anymore.
Okay.
This one's interesting as well. And a funny one, this is the dad bod renaissance. How about that? The dad bod renaissance. Behold peak comfort and confidence. It's from Chris in North York.
All right.
Why not? Call it that. Call it whatever you want.
Jen from Burlington texting in saying, how about the hot flash mob? Because your midlife deserves a dance number.
I think a lot of things deserve a dance number.
That one I could see you doing.
Yeah. Jen, I'm with you.
You're
I
going to
love
do the
that.
lift from Dirty Dancing. Call it the hot flash mob.
It's so true. We have officially rebranded the midlife crisis. Let's go to Debbie in Stony Creek. What do you think in terms of this rebranding of the midlife crisis?
How about simply midlife celebration? I hit 50 last year, and I did get one of those tattoos, which symbolized something for me and my family, my kids, and that was perfect. So I reached 50, and I didn't want to cry about it. I embraced it. I even ordered the lawn sign. My husband paid for it.
That's amazing.
Love that.
I love that. Can I ask what you got for the tattoo? And did the kids support the tattoo? Were they like, Mom, you're so cringe getting a tattoo?
Well, no. You know what? The thing is, though, you kind of, I wouldn't say set the precedence. My husband got one years back. So then for me to get one, and I put it in a spot where it's on my wrist so I can cover it. And the symbol I did was simply 2 bigger hearts, my husband and I, and then 3 smaller hearts. And because I've worked for a particular airline, also celebrated in the same year 25 years, I just did it a little airplane. So this line looked like the smoke of the airplane. So all the hearts are connected to this airplane. So that signified 2 big things for me last year.
Debbie, thank you so much for the call. We appreciate you.
Take care, guys. Bye.
I have a tattoo suggestion for you and your friends.
Uh-oh.
Because you and your boys came up with this whole idea of rebranding the Midlife Crisis.
Sure.
So, and you're also a fan of Boyz II Men?
Oh, wow, you're really stretching it. I mean, sure, I like Boyz II Men. We just played, like...
Okay, ready?
They're not my favorite. Okay,
You get
whatever.
a tattoo that says, men to boys. Right? Right?
To boys?
Yeah.
I think that one might be misconstrued
To something else?
to something else.
Think about it. Think about it. Out with the midlife crisis, in with the midlife rebrand. What does that look like? Midlife Christmas? Midlife clarity? What is it for you?
For me, it's like, there's midlife recess attitude. Like, you know, when you're a kid, your recess out, you can't wait to get outside for recess. Keep that excitement for stuff. Think about the stuff that excites you. Haley in Toronto, rebrand the midlife crisis for us.
Yeah, we're thinking, I'm sorry.
Haley,
I'm sorry, no.
Haley, are you in midlife?
You sound more like quarter life.
Yeah.
No, I'm midlife. I'm 44.
Oh, okay.
But I did get the quarter life crisis tattoo. And midlife, you're right. Like, we need to celebrate this. It's so fun.
Right?
What is your, how's your tattoo holding up 20 years later? And what did you get?
It's a bit saggy, but it still resembles a branch of, like, you know, a life branch of a tree.
Okay.
Oh, nice. That still has meaning.
Yeah, listen, Haley, we're all a little bit saggy at this age. You go water that tree, okay? Thanks for the call.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
We're getting a lot of great texts to 981-981, including this one. No name here, but for my midlife reset, I had 2 children at 40 and 45, and that made my life 1,000 times better and 1,000 times crazier. Been through menopause, got the tattoo at 40, dated a younger man.
Okay, some of that, like, syncs up with your life. Having kids in 40s. I don't know about dating a younger man or whatever.
Are we forecasting?
No. Just having kids in your 40s, I mean, right?
Yes,
you vibe with that.
It does change. I think it forces you to feel and be younger because you have to.
Yeah.
You're running after kids. Jess in Pickering, what's your rebrand of midlife?
I would rebrand it as Midlife Reboot.
Midlife reboot?
Yeah.
How come?
How do you mean by that?
Well, you know, you got to reinvent yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You become stale, and then what you need to do is just reinvent yourself. So just like a computer, when things are going wrong, you hit Control-Alt-Delete, right?
Yeah. Or you smash it and get a new one. So just me?
Exactly.
Jess, we love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day, guys.
How would you rebrand midlife? Love this text coming in. Derek from Richmond Hill saying, the certified silver fox phase. Don't know about you. I'm aging like a fine wine. Derek from Richmond Hill coming in hot.
Obviously getting more humble as you age as well. Susan from Markham writing, I would rebrand it as the second act. The first half was just rehearsal. Now it's showtime.
Ooh, okay. And Nav from Pickering coming over the top here as well. How about the unapologetic era? No more worrying about what other people think. It's all about you.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
This is all great.
I love that we're rebranding the midlife crisis. None of us are in crisis. We're thriving. We're doing well.
Exactly.
The Pooja and Gurdeep Podcast.
This is the Pooja and Gurdeep Podcast.
My Fitbit is out of control.
What?
It is out of control. You will not believe the things it is telling me. I have no idea what's going on. It must be like faulty or broken or something.
Wait, I've been a Fitbit user forever. Like, what do you mean? It's generally encouraging. It's encouraging your step goal. It's telling you when you've hit new milestones. What's the issue?
So I got a message, and this is what it says. It popped up on my phone, okay? In the app. Take it easy. You've really pushed yourself recently. To avoid overtraining, take time to slow down and recover.
What?
It's talking about me.
Hold on. I've never seen that message on Fitbit, and I work out.
Okay, I took a screen grab of it because I didn't think you'd believe me. So I actually posted it on our stories, so you can go check it out at CHFI.
At CHFI, you've posted this in the stories. I'm going to take a little peek.
Okay, because this doesn't make any sense to me because I'm not even working out. I'm not doing anything. I haven't been well. I've been under the weather since the beginning of the year, so I haven't really been doing anything.
Looking at this now, I have never seen this pop up on my Fitbit before.
What is going on? I have no idea. Like, what am I doing that it thinks that I need to slow down.
Take it easy. You've really pushed yourself recently to avoid overtraining. Take some time to slow down and recover.
I'm like,
you've been doing not much.
Yeah, I'm pretty much slow all the time.
Okay, you've been sitting around. Okay, I've got a couple of thoughts because this is based on your heart rate. So clearly you're not being physically active.
Right.
But your heart is going for some reason, which is a little concerning.
Like, you think you can explain it otherwise? Like, why else would my heart be going?
Well, I think it's like, I don't know, like you're a bit of an overthinker. I think your brain is kind of running a marathon while your body's chilling. Classic Pooja guy.
That's so true. Okay.
Right?
Do you think that counts? You think that affects your heart rate?
If you're overthinking and you're low-key stressing, absolutely. I think it could also be high stress caused by too much reality TV and office gossip. Yeah.
That stuff's good.
Your eyes go super wide when you think you hear some office goss. And I hear you like whispering. I'm like, stop gossiping with Jill from accounting.
I can see my heart rate going up, getting very excited. And then when I watch nothing but reality TV, I can see that happening.
I think there's a outside chance. This is not the betting favorite, but outside chance that it's residual anxiety from not being able to take a selfie. Fitbit knows you're still thinking about trying to capture one good selfie.
First of all, your arm hurts after a while too, right? That's just like physically taxing. Let's face it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Or
okay.
have you been small talking a lot? I know that makes your heart race. It's possible.
No, that just makes me awkward and it makes people not want to be around me.
Right.
Their heart rate goes up. They get the message. Take it easy. Stay away from that girl.
Whatever you're doing, maybe it's just time to take off the Fitbit for...
I think so.
For a little bit.
I think so.
The Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI.
Steph, you recently got pulled over.
Oh, why are we going to talk about this?
What happened? Because you...
I need cameras following me all the time because this was actually pretty funny.
I think it's a morning show. We get more tickets than any other morning show in the GTA. What is wrong with us?
Okay, so thankfully, I'm going to start off by saying I didn't get a ticket. But I was prepared to get a ticket for something I have no clue what I did.
Okay.
So I was with my kids a couple days ago and dropped off my boyfriend. He had an eye exam and I'm like, I'm going to go grab some groceries right before I come pick you up. So I was making a right onto a major street.
Okay.
So as I'm driving up to the light, it's green. And I did a very quick little stop to make sure that there was no one going through the red or whatever.
Sure.
And I make my right. And I'm about to drive to the grocery store and I see police behind me. And I'm like, oh, let me pull over. There's police. And he pulls up behind me and I'm like, what?
Like lights on, flashing, the
Yeah,
whole deal?
I'm like, what? And my kids are like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting pulled over. I'm like, I don't know. I literally have no clue for what I'm getting pulled over for.
Wow.
So I roll down the window and I'm in my boyfriend's car. So I'm like, where's his? Where's this? I have no clue where his stuff is.
Oh, no.
So he comes over and he looks at me and I'm like, I'm just kind of shaking my head. And he's like, I pulled you over because you literally did not stop when you made that turn. So I'm like, what? And I was so confused. I'm like, so I'm not thinking at this point what I did. I'm just trying to process that he's standing beside my car and I have no clue. So he's like, can I get your license? And I'm like, okay. So I'm grabbing my license. I'm looking. I had his glove compartment open. And so I was trying to look for his thing. And then he asked for my license. So I'm all over the place.
Right.
And I hand him my card. And he looks at me and he's like, this is your debit card.
You handed him your debit.
I'm like,
instead of your license? Oh my gosh.
Because I never take out my license. I'm always taking out my debit card. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, hold on. So I take back my debit card and I give him my license. My kids are laughing in the back. And so I give him my license and I'm trying to still find the registration. And as I pull out the registration, finally, I turn back to look at the officer and he's just like, I'm going to let you off with a warning. He's like, drive carefully. I'm like, okay. So I left. And I go pull up into the parking lot of the grocery store and I'm like, wait a minute.
What did you actually do,
I'm like,
though?
hold on a minute.
You turned right on a green light.
Yeah.
And you said you did slow down and look both ways.
Yeah.
So
he's
what
like,
did you do?
He said I didn't come to a complete stop. He's like, you didn't
don't
stop.
have to come to a complete stop on a green
That's what
light.
I was thinking after. I'm like, hold on. Is that why he gave me a warning? Because he realized I was turning on a green.
You should have given him a warning.
But it was the funniest thing ever because I was totally prepared for this ticket that I didn't know why I was getting. And then I gave him my debit card.
Do you think you giving him your debit card broke the tension and is what resulted in you getting out of the ticket? I think so.
I think he was like, she has got a lot going on and I don't even know why I pulled her over.
The next time I get a ticket, and I hope it's not anytime soon, or I get pulled over, I'm going to act frazzled, put a couple of kids in the back and hand him my social insurance card. Be like, oops. Sorry.
Give him your Blockbuster card.
Okay, Steph managed to get out of a ticket by accidentally giving a police officer her debit card. Probably made him feel sympathy. He's like, this is a frazzled mom who probably works in a morning show. I'm going to let her off.
From CHFI Studios,
It's the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
We're wondering if you've ever gotten out of a ticket. Steph recently handed her debit card after getting pulled over instead of her license, and the cop just kind of sighed and let her
I was
off.
not trying to pay him off.
No,
I
you were
just
not.
gave him the wrong card.
You just gave him the wrong card. He's like, you know what? I'm going to let you off with a warning. You're clearly having a day. Gary in Uxbridge, you ever gotten out of a ticket?
I got out of a ticket. I was on the 401, and I tend to have a heavy foot. I didn't realize the cop was on the on-ramp, and apparently I blew by him at over 140 kilometers an hour.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was 4 miles down the road before he finally caught up to me as I was slowing down to get off the 401. I see him behind. I'm thinking, boy, he's flying. He's going to get in trouble. And I realize, oh, crap, it's a cop.
He's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So how did you get out of it, Gary?
He comes up to the car and he says to me, so what's your license like? And I hand it to him and I said, oh, it's a piece of crap. He goes back to the car. He comes walking back. He hands me back my license and he goes, yeah, you're honestly true. And he says, but you know what? He says, if you drive a little bit slower, you might not get stopped so often. I'm going to let you off today.
Wow.
What?
Thank you very much.
So he let you off because you had a history of a lot of tickets?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
And I was honest about it.
Gary, thanks so much for the call, buddy. Appreciate you.
Have a great day.
Take care, you too.
Bye.
Okay, so no lesson learned, no teachable moment from that one.
No.
That's an anomaly, we'll say. That's the exception, not the rule. Anna from North York, have you ever gotten out of a ticket?
I was going to a doctor's appointment, and I'm going 20 over, so it was really my fault. And the cop pulls me over, asks me for my driver's license and ownership. I give it to him. He goes back to his car, comes back, and he says, you were going 20 over. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I'm just going to give you a warning and happy birthday. Because I realized it was your birthday today.
Oh,
like,
it was actually your birthday?
Like, thank God. It was. It was actually my birthday.
Wow. That's so nice.
So I got out of a ticket.
I love that. I love that on your birthday, you can go to Starbucks and get a free coffee. And apparently you can also get out of a ticket.
And apparently go 20 over.
I honestly didn't even think he would have noticed it, but he did.
That's amazing. That's good to know.
Sure.
I might go like couple kilometers faster on my birthday.
Maybe
Just a
don't,
couple.
right? Maybe don't,
Or
just in
don't.
case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right. I'm like, but Anna told me. No, I'm just kidding. Anna, that's great. Thanks so much for sharing.
Thanks. Bye.
Obviously kidding. Don't at me. No, I'm not going to go. I'll go slower. How about that?
Thanks for listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Listen to Pooja and Gurdeep live weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Only on 98.1 CHFI.
Toronto's perfect music mix.